Welcome back to The Quiet Path with me, Cate Field. This is day 3, The Weight of Air. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, perhaps you might like to go back to those first, but you don't have to. This is your gentle space for creative reflection, and it's an invitation for you to pause, to notice and reconnect with your inner voice. In this session, we're going to explore today's theme through a short reflection and creative prompt. Take it at your own pace. Let the process be soft and spacious, and let it be yours. So when you are ready, let's begin. I am so pleased that you have joined me in my studio. So we're going to be looking at day 3 of The Quiet Path. If you'd like a copy of your own, the details are in the description, but you don't have to. Day 3 is The Weight of Air, and your daily prompt: a leaf drifts, weightless, held only by quiet air. Nothing pulls it down. And what I was thinking about when I wrote that little poem is this quiet surrender of a drifting leaf. and I am recording this in April in Dorset in southwest England, and of course April is springtime. If you are in the northern hemisphere, then we are in spring. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it is autumn, so you will have leaves falling off the trees, but you might be watching this at any time of the year. But the principle is the same. It's this idea of not resisting, of letting something just float. And we can use that as a metaphor. And if we can think about how our lives are often just controlled by our obligations and all the things that we have to do, sometimes we forget to allow ourselves this time to drift a little, to just go with the flow, just for a moment, really. So think about how often do we try to control the direction of our lives. I am a great one for making plans and writing lists and wanting to get everything done like that. And so for me, letting that go is quite a challenge. But what if we were to just let go a little bit and let ourselves be guided by whatever and to release that resistance and just float for a little while and see what that might be like. So today, I want you to reflect on weightlessness and surrender and trust. So where in your life or in your creative practice do you feel that you need to let go? How might you capture this feeling of effortless motion? I'm going to invite you to think about the following prompts. This is my creative invitation to you. So if you are someone who likes painting or drawing, depict the movement of something floating. So that could be the leaves, it could be ripples on the water, or it could be drifting clouds. If you are a writer, write about a moment when you let go of control. How did that feel? Or perhaps you have a character in one of your stories who allows things to just happen. If you like sculpting or textile art, experiment with really delicate suspended forms, sort of paper cutouts or fabric that floats in the air, like sort of silk or organza. If you like photography, capture something mid-motion. See if you can get that time when it's suspended in the air. And for a mixed media prompt, you could use light, airy materials, translucent paper, inks, washes, or delicate lines to convey movement. And your sensory prompt is, I want you to hold a leaf in your hands. Now, I've just gone into my garden, and I say it's a spring. So I do like a dandelion. I know they're weeds, but they are very pretty, aren't they? And I've also got some wild garlic here, which is a little bit rampant as well, but again, just so pretty. And if we just shake it just a little, you can feel that delicateness. So your sensory prompt is to hold a leaf or a petal and just let it fall. And just feel the weightlessness of it. I know this is a metaphor. This isn't a science tutorial. I know it's not really weightless, but it's that feeling that I want to convey to you. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take one of these prompts and I'm just going to work it through with you. And you use this time for your own practice. Shut out all distractions. Give yourself this time. And I'm just going to switch my camera to overhead. So I'm going to work in my journal. This is a sort of a written journal. There's lots. It's a lovely fat book that somebody gave me as a present, which is lovely. And I do like to handwrite, but I also print out some of my thoughts as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the idea of sort of drawing, but then I'm also going to write as well. And this is the whole point of the prompts, is that you do whatever you like. They are just prompts, an invitation. You could just ignore them completely and just do your own thing. I'm going to use colouring pencils. These are nothing fancy, actually. I do use some very gorgeous colouring pencils, but for this one, I'm not kind of thinking about that too much. I'm going to kind of be inspired by my dandelion and by some of these leaves. And again, I'm not thinking about things too much. I just want to get this idea of floating. So imagining these petals just sort of floating across this double page. And I'm just inspired by these petals. And then I'm going to do a little bit of writing. Got a couple of poems that are in my head. Just some ideas. And again, this is what I'm really going to encourage you to do, is to just sort of play. I'm just thinking, the thing with yellow is that you're not going to be able to see it very clearly, are you? Use this again. You can follow along with me. If you're thinking that you've got no idea where to start, you could start with a yellow colouring pencil and play with that. Or you could just pause this tutorial and do your own thing. Like that. So that's kind of like my background, really. It's, again, I'm not sort of doing a botanical illustration. That's not the purpose. But I do like the shape of these. Oh, these are wilting a little bit now, aren't they? But I love this shape. These lovely leaves that are just in my garden, and I'm going to sort of take these as a bit of a starting point with this just little doodle, really. Doing them much larger than life size, but again this is just as a background for the words, and I often will just come back to what I've done on my previous pages, and we'll kind of see where we go with those. So just writing a few little thoughts about the dandelions and the flowers, and then I've got this idea of the trembling branches, so I think I'm going to pop that on my new leaves. Again, I'm just using my fountain pen here. Some of my students just like to write in pencil, and that's lovely. It really is. Oh, this new leaves tremble. I quite like that. How light on branches that once stood bare. You can just sort of play around with various ideas. And again, in my sketchbook and in my journals, there are loads of mistakes, and I will amend the things. I'll show you in a moment. And then I had an idea of the music, this kind of music of spring. So the music begins. So in this book here, I've just kind of little ideas. Some are unfinished, and some I've just written words that pop into my head. But often I will kind of try a word and then cross it out until I get the right one. And here again, it's what word did I want to convey? And that's how a sketchbook and journal should be. It's you're playing with ideas, trying things out, and reading back through some of these. I think that I'm not very happy with this one. Oh, this was the poem I wrote for my mum for her 85th birthday last month. But I really want to stress that you use your journal however you want, and like with this page and this whole idea of letting things go, I'm just letting the words float across the page. I do hope you have enjoyed today's session, that you've got some ideas that you can work with, and that you've given yourself this time for your creative practice. If you haven't liked yet, that would be really lovely. And if you'd want to subscribe and perhaps share this with someone else, that would be lovely too. So until next time, bye bye.